Right, Brendan, of all the players in any sport really, everyone always talks about playing without fear. Now you've managed to do that, so I want to take you to the start of your innings and you're just walking out to bat. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, it probably starts before that. I think up in the change room, I was always a guy who likes to maintain a real relaxed sort of state, and some guys like to be a bit more wound up. For me, it was a matter of trying to be as relaxed as possible. Then it's time to walk down the stairs. You come down the stairs and you go through your routine, and that's more just about confirming to yourself that you're going out to bat and just go through the same sort of routine. Once you get out here, quick talk to your partner, have a little summation of the wicket, take your guard, and then for me it's sort of just to begin about maintaining a relaxed state, and then when it comes time to face up, I'm just trying to tell myself watch the ball. Nothing else I'm trying to think about other than just watch the ball at that point in time. So I get into my stance, which is probably wider than probably most people, low centre of gravity.
Yeah, why is that though? You do have a wide stance.
Yeah, for me, I've always found my most powerful position is slightly lower, with wider stance. And again, everyone's different. But for me, I felt like I can access the front foot, and I reckon I can access the back a lot better when I'm in that wider stance, which is why I take it, I guess. So I'm sort of slightly open as well, just because otherwise I find I get a bit closed off. So I try to stay a little bit open, and then just get in a nice balanced position. So kind of like that, and then just watching the ball, just trying to just watch it as hard as I can.
So when the bowler's running in, how much premeditation are you doing?
Yeah, it's a great question. Some days a lot more than others, but I am trying to just react to what I'm given, and I'm not a player who can watch the guy as he's running in, watching the seam. I actually can't see the seam, so for me,
really?
I'm watching around that box, and then there's times where, as he's running in, something just happens in my head where it's like, I want to take this guy, I want to be aggressive here, and that's my instinct. And I think most times your instinct serves you well. It's when you fight your instinct which you get in trouble. And so if my instinct says to me run down the wicket, then more often than not I'll try and follow that, and you just try and have total conviction in it.
But that won't happen at the top of his mark. You think, right, I'm going to run down the wicket. That almost just comes to you as he's about to deliver the ball.
Most times it's like, don't run down the wicket when he's standing at the top of his mark. But then you just can't help yourself. But I guess for me, I'm looking at three different things. If it's full and straight, then I'm looking to try and hit it there. If it's short and wide, I'm trying to hit it there. If it's short and at me, I'm trying to hit it there. In between, you're trying to manufacture a one, I guess, or try and move about your crease a little bit to try and put a bit of pressure, or just a slightly different mindset on the bowler as well.
And are you 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or just nothing, none of that really?
No. You thrive on hitting boundaries and sixes, and you want to hit sixes. Everyone loves sixes, so you want to hit sixes. But every ball you sort of like, how am I going to try and hit this as hard as I can and try and target a certain area if it is in my zone. But I guess one of the misconceptions I find in T20 cricket is that you get a 6 or you get a 4, and then the old school mentality of you've got to get a 1, get off strike. Think about the bowlers under pressure. So if you can maintain your confidence to be able to go at them again and just keep going. Big overs in T20, you can get 1 or 2 big overs. I'm talking 20, 24, 25, 26 runs. You're going to be tough to beat, and so why limit yourself by your mindset of trying to just knock it around and do the old-fashioned way of thinking, I guess.
Now, if you could get back into your stance, now one thing that you have is very, very fast hands. Now I reckon that's a gift, but what in your setup and the way that you play allows you to have those fast hands?
I don't really know. I've been asked that a few times. I don't really know. I've got quite a heavy bat as well, which for me, I find if I have a light bat, a lot of the time I don't know where it is in my
It almost helps the plane of your bat.
Yeah, and I guess one of the only things I work on at training, or I try and think about, is lag, a little bit of lag with my bat. So I'm sort of trying to create that through the ball, that last bit, that kind of like acceleration sort of through the ball, a little bit like a golfer, that through that impact point. And the same with when you play a pull shot, it's sort of through there again. And even a cut shot, you kind of, that last bit, so it's around that impact zone, which is probably where the, I guess, perceived fast hands come from.
And picking up length, that's something else you do very well. I've seen you pull balls, anyone else you think is almost on the front foot too. How does that come about?
Yeah, when I get too upright in my stance, I struggle to pick up length. When you see a lot of guys who are quite upright in their stance and they're beautiful players have been able to get front and back foot and pick up length. For me, I have to be in that balance and low position to be able to then pick it up. And if you can pick up length easily, then your ability to play a ball which is slightly over-pitched on the front foot, and that's sometimes why you run down as well, because you want to try and upset their length. And then if you can then jump on the back foot as well, then the margin for error of the bowler becomes pretty small. So you're going to get out sometimes doing it as well, and especially in T20. But if you can upset their length, then you're halfway there.
And the pull shot, I mean, there was a time when people used to think you go right back or take a step back. Is that something you believe in, or do you just rock back onto the back legs?
Yeah, I mean, again, everyone's different. I think you just sort of, I don't even know how to play it. I think you sort of, you kind of, no, I think it's more of a swivel.
Right, so you're almost looking to get forward,
and then it's kind of, you're looking to get back. And I'm trying to hit it up most of the time as well, mainly because you're sort of, if it's on your hip, if I can rotate, it shouldn't really matter. If there's a fielder out there, the boundaries these days, the way the ball travels, you should be able to still hit it for six.
So you don't really worry about placement so much, you just back yourself to clear whoever's out there, deep square leg.
Yeah.
Even if you're running down the pitch the same?
I find I get in trouble if I try and play a touch game. I don't have a touch game to be able to play that. A little bit like in Test cricket, I never really had a defensive game which was going to be able to sustain against quality bowling. So I had to try and be attacking to try and upset the bowler a little bit. And it's just the same with placement. Is if I'm looking at the field and I see that there's no one there, but my strike zone is actually there, it's only a 60-metre hit. So if you're fully convinced in your shot and you hit it properly, the fielder doesn't really matter. Where I get in trouble is if I try and access that area, the one that's got no fielder there, and I don't have that shot in my stable. So everyone's different. Kane Williamson, for instance, he can hit the ball where the fielder's
I mean,
not.
he's just got a touch player, you'd say.
Brilliant player, and he hit all around the ground depending on where the fielders aren't. For me, I need to be able to try and hit my specific zones, and if you get out doing it, you get out doing it.
Brendan, absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob. Cheers, mate.